Students, in this video we will discuss about the human reproduction, and this is the part 3 video of this chapter. And in this chapter we will discuss about the external genitalia, mammary gland and spermatogenesis. In the external genitalia it includes the following structures. The first is the mons pubis, second is the clitoris, third is the labia minor, fourth is the labia major and hymen. So there are 5 structures are included in this external genitalia female reproductive part. The first one is the mons pubis. Mons pubis is the just upper part and which is bulged and having a pad-like or cushion-like structure which is mainly composed of adipose tissue. And this part has adipose tissue as well as pubic hairs. And just below the mons pubis, this is the mons pubis, and below this mons pubis, that is the clitoris, which is a bean-shaped structure. This is the bean-shaped structure and highly vascularized, and it is a sensitive part of the female reproductive system, and this structure is located just above portion where the labia minor is meeting. So you can see this picture in the NCERT book, and this clitoris is the just treated as pseudopenis. Below that, the interior fold, which is red in color, mentioned in the diagram red in color, that is the labia minor, and this is highly vascularized, means having the many capillaries, blood capillaries and network of blood vessels. And after that, that is the labia majora. So labia majora is downward in and foldings, and both structures, labia minor and labia major, just closing the vaginal opening. These labia major having sebaceous glands, and it keeps moist. Just behind the mons pubis, urinary bladder is located, and this structure is the urethra. And we know that the length of urethra in the female is just 4 centimeter, and this is the only excretory, means its role is only excretion to release the urine. So this is the external genitalia. Now we will discuss about the mammary gland. We know that a pair of mammary gland is found in a female, and mammary gland is the functional. So this is the picture of the mammary gland, and both mammary gland is attached with the ribs of the chest. That is the ribs, these are the ribs, and we know that ribs are protected by externally and internally, that is the muscles, that is the external costal muscles and internal costal muscles, and these are the muscles, and through which this is the shape of the mammary gland. The shape of the mammary gland is maintained by the deposition of adipose tissue. It may less deposited or more deposited. So the shape and size is variable. Okay, so the first of all, just you you try to understand in the chronological way, and when you will remember in the chronological way, then you can write in the examination properly. So after the ribs, that is the muscle is located. This is the muscle, means chest muscle, and after that means from ribs to nipple, fat globules are present. These are the fat globules, means adipose tissue. And after that adipose tissue, these reddish pictures are visible. These reddish pictures are the mammary lobes. Many mammary lobes are present, and approximately 15 to 20 mammary lobes are present in each mammary gland, in each functional mammary gland. And after that mammary lobe having the mammary alveolus, and these are the site of formation of and secretion of milk. This is the site of formation and secretion of milk. After that, many alveolus, means many alveoli, fuse to form mammary duct. These are the mammary duct. And after that, the mammary duct meet to form ampulla, mammary ampulla. So these are the ampulla. Just I have brought it, and in the ampulla, the milk is stored. That is, the milk is stored here in the ampulla, and ampulla just elongates as the mammary lactiferous duct, and these mammary lactiferous duct meet to the upper skin part, and it is the opening of the mammary gland, and this bead-like structure is called as nipple, and around the nipple there is the shade-like structure, skinny shade-like structure, maybe pinkish or brownish, depending upon the pigmentation of the skin of the female. That part is called as areola. So this is the structure of female mammary gland. In male, mammary gland is also present, but in the male, that is the rudimentary, non-functional. Now, we will discuss about the spermatogenesis, means the formation or synthesis of sperm, spermatozoa within the seminiferous tubule. So this is the picture of the spermatogenesis. In this picture, this membrane is the seminiferous tubule, wall of the seminiferous tubule, which is, we have already discussed that this is the epithelial germinal tissue, and from this epithelial germinal tissue, as soon as the male body retain in the age of the puberty, the nature of the epithelial germinal tissue is transformed, and it divides by mitosis to form the spermatogonium cells. These spermatogonium cells are diploid in nature, and now this spermatogonial cell, under the influence of a GnRH, this will convert into the primary spermatocyte. This is still 2M, and this primary spermatocyte undergoes in the meiosis first division, and then secondary spermatocyte is formed. This secondary spermatocyte is the haploid, because by the uh, process of meiosis 1, suppose this is the primary spermatocyte, this will divide by meiosis 1, it will form the 2. This is the 2n and this is the both are n. Again it will divide to form by the process of meiosis 2, and meiosis 2 is similar to the mitosis, so it will form the 4 cells and all are haploid. It means primary spermatocyte is diploid, and in the primary spermatocyte meiosis first division takes place, giving rise secondary spermatocyte cells and single primary spermatocyte gives rise to secondary spermatocyte, and again each one spermatocyte will divide by the meiosis 2 to give rise 4. Single will give rise to, means meiosis 2, and meiosis 2 is similar to the mitosis. So there is no change in the ploidy of the secondary spermatocyte cells and the finally formed spermatid. So these are the actually spermatid. Here I have given the picture that from secondary spermatocyte to spermatozoa, but this will transformed as the spermatid. So this structure is the actually spermatid, because still Sertoli cell is attached to the head of the sperm. So here transformation is occurring with the help of FSH, hormone, and these Sertoli cells, several Sertoli cells are scattered between the spermatogonium cells, and these Sertoli cells provide the nourishment to the developing spermatid and spermatozoa. So a Sertoli cell supply the food, nourishment to the developing spermatozoa. So still these Sertoli cell is attached to the head of the spermatozoa, means newly formed spermatozoa. So this is the attached, that's why its name is the spermatid. Now this structure will separate and forming the fresh spermatozoa, and this is called as sperm. So this process is called as spermiogenesis, and when spermatozoa is formed, means fully formed, mature, then it will leave seminiferous tubule. Actually this process is occurring within the seminiferous tubule. Suppose this is my finger's circular structure is the seminiferous tubule. So these are the epithelial germinal cells, and these cells are forming a spermatogonia, then primary spermatocyte by the process of mitosis, and then primary spermatocyte meiosis 1, secondary spermatocyte, and then a spermatid, and then a spermatozoa. And now a spermatozoa will leave seminiferous tubule and move towards the rete testis and vasa efferentia and epididymis. So as soon as it will leave the place of seminiferous tubule, this process is called as spermiation. Now, I have already discussed in the part 1 of the video of this chapter, that is the role of GnRH. Here again, just I am repeating GnRH. GnRH is secreted from the hypothalamus region. It includes two hormones, LH and FSH. FSH will act on Sertoli cell, and Sertoli cell will help in the spermiogenesis. Spermiogenesis means transformation of a spermatid to a spermatozoa. Now LH will act on the wall of the seminiferous tubule, and it mainly secretes androgens. Means LH will act on the actually Leydig cells, and it will secrete the androgens and particularly testosterone. So this is the entire spermatogenesis, and you have seen or you will see in the picture of NCERT book, that is the flow chart, where at the puberty stage 2 spermatogenesis. Now that is the structure of spermatozoa. Structure of spermatozoa. Means sperm. This is acrosome. This is nucleus. Means this structure is the head. This structure is the head. This one is the neck. This one is the middle piece, and from here to here, that is the tail, and this is the part of the tail, that is the end piece. And actually the length of a sperm is 60 mu m, that is the length, and width is at around the 2.5 mu m. And the longevity of the spermatozoa within the female body is around 72 hours. So approximately 3 days. So a spermatozoa means a sperm has head, second part is the neck, third is the middle piece, fourth is the tail. Okay? And end piece is the part of the tail. The tip of the head, pointed part of the head, is acrosome, and this acrosome is formed by Golgi bodies. Means this acrosome has Golgi bodies as well as lysosome. So automatically Golgi bodies and lysosome. So when lysosome is present, means lysozymic enzymes are present here. Lysozymic enzyme, that is a kind of proteolytic enzyme. And this proteolytic enzyme mainly contains hyaluronidase. Okay? This hyaluronidase or proteolytic enzyme, it may be called as hydrolytic enzyme. As soon as this tip will touch to the germ pore of the ovum, it will burst and this hyaluronidase enzyme will dissolve the germ pore and then the nucleus of the sperm will enter into the ovum for fertilization. Now, in the head region, a big nucleus is present and a small vacuole is also present. Vacuole and having the cytoplasm which is rich in the protein, and in the neck region a pair of centriole is present. A pair of centriole is present. That is the proximal and this one is the distal centriole and that is the proximal. Both a pair of centriole, both are located in the neck region, and this part is the middle piece. In the middle piece, 4 sets of mitochondria. These are mitochondria. 4 sets means total 8 in number. 4 sets means total 8 in number, and this point is very important and several times already come to the AIPMT and NEET examination. And these mitochondria or sets of the 4 mitochondria supply the energy for motility of the sperm. Okay, so these are the energy house. These are the house of energy, and it provides the energy to the spermatozoa for motility. Now, the distal centriole forms fibers of tubulin protein, and this protein forms the tail of the sperm, and this is also called as axoneme, and finally run up to the end point of the end piece. This tail helps in the motility of the sperm, and it pushes backward like this, and then sperm will go forward. So this is the structure of the spermatozoa. And now I want to conclude this video in this lockdown period for the betterment of the students, and I think students will treat it as e-learning part. Thank you.